Go.
Okay, hi, I'm Natalie.
I'm Carson.
I'm Austin.
I'm Elise.
And I'm Jordan, and we're Group B.
Okay, so for the problem for our case study, what do you guys think?
I think they definitely need a new system for prioritizing the orders, because it seems like they're just putting people with more money in front of other people, and that's not fair to the company.
Yeah.
The issue I put down was that their communications suck because we haven't had a system established to where they can do what you're saying, like prioritize and if their communication was there, they can implement policies with it to communicate down the line, especially accepting an order change. You'd know at that time if it's too late.
Yeah, there's definitely no communication between any of the employees.
Yeah. Or organization.
Yeah.
I just felt like I thought there was like a disconnect, especially between like the departments, like within the departments and then like between the marketing and operations, like they're not talking.
Yeah,
That's what
not
you
at
said,
all.
yeah.
And I also think like Mr. Bryan is not qualified at all to be doing what he's doing. He's just
No.
like taking clients out to
There's no
lunch.
management at
Yeah, he
all.
doesn't really know. He's just been there for a while.
No one manages anything.
So maybe
And they're not really sticking to the plans. They're just changing too much, you know?
And they're wanting us to fix these are new parts to fix the customer complaints and employee arguments. I mean, that's like, I guess the best way to solve it would be through communication organization.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe out of those, I mean, what do we think is like the biggest problem that maybe would fix all of the smaller problems that we're having? I mean, I think maybe like a better chain of command layout would maybe fix a communication problem if they actually sat down and addressed who they need to go to for certain things.
I think that would help.
Yeah, I think just the overall problem is the communication.
Because that, like, fixing communication, I feel like solves their problems of, like, they're having like inefficient production and they're spending money on like having to stock the line and everything, and then they have unhappy customers too, but if everyone's communicating better, it solves all those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that could definitely be the problem with it, because making a last minute change would have been easily fixed by just having the right chain of communications down the line. They would have known. It's either too late.
Or I think like also having like better communication with customers too, because like if they told the customers up front, like, we can't make a last minute change.
It would solve like a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the customers would like already know. They would like, no one told us.
There's no pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the criteria,
I think maybe like our main problem statement would be like more efficient communication is needed to increase.
So y'all think that communication is the biggest problem out of all of them, right?
I think so,
I think so,
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of needs to know their place and who to go to with certain issues.
I think like for a problem statement, maybe we could say like by increasing communication with the customers and between the employees, you could have happier customers and
Customers.
employees.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
so by fixing the,
I mean, do you like the job?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think like an increase in communication would increase productivity and satisfaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the overall employee happiness, because Jenny was looking or considering quitting over that time because Dan made that last minute change, which that caused them to waste product, and it also caused them to be late on all the projects, having to redo that one.
Yeah.
Because they were at that point made the process before the change and started cutting the fabrics.
Criteria.
So definitely think that it shouldn't cause production to cease. Like whatever we do, we can't just shut down a company for 2 weeks to fix something.
Yeah.
So it's gotta be something that can happen while we're working.
I think whatever the solution is, like it should make sure that they never have another instance of having to have overtime production like they had in this time. Like it should solve that and eliminate that completely.
Yeah, I was thinking it would overall enhance the customer experience, anything like that, would be a big process to it.
Yeah, I just said cost efficient, just any change that they make need to be cost efficient, and that maybe whenever they, like, have a time limit where they can't make any new orders, or they can't change any orders, just
Yeah,
have a
that's
time
what I
limit.
said.
Yeah. I also said I think whatever the change is that improves the communication should be able to be implemented in at least 1 month. Because I think the sooner that they can solve
Get
the
it
problem, the
together,
better.
yeah.
So we need to pick 3 to 4 of the criteria to use for the next stage. Which of the 3 to 4 would y'all think would, like, for something of that nature, where, we'd want to have towards our solution?
I definitely think cost efficiency is number one, because that's the whole
Yeah.
problem that we're in the first place, is we're losing money.
I was thinking enhancing customer service, just
But I
because
think also
without the
customer
cost,
service,
yeah,
I mean,
that would
without
be
customers, we
number
wouldn't
two.
cost or anything.
Because I think that's the main problem that they, it's not the main problem within the company, but that's what the
Mhm.
manager wants to fix, or the owner.
And without the customers, they don't need
Yeah,
us.
they're not the
Yeah,
company.
yeah.
You don't need all that.
I think that no overtime kind of goes into the same as cost efficient.
Mhm.
It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I would say cost efficiency, customer service, and then within 1 month. So
So should we do like a deadline?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, so some possible solutions.
One thing I thought about was creating a website where people can order instead of just meeting with Mr. Bryan to place their orders. And then all the regulations would kind of be laid out, and it would probably be easier for the customers.
That's something similar I was thinking, was pretty much going digital for everything for the employees and customers. So like a
Yeah.
change like this, and that's this big, would almost have to go through like a chain of approval before it can go through. And then they would already know automatically, the employee and the guest that's buying it would know they can't do
Yeah.
that, that's
Mhm.
when it's too late, or it would cost them extra money.
Yeah, I
to
think the
do
main
this.
thing is for the workers of the company to have an online thing that they can look at, so that if someone changes it last minute, they can see it. And it's not like,
Definitely
oh, I
needs to be
can't get in
linked
touch.
So it all updates, like on the assembly line also.
That, or even giving the customers, like, you can only change it up to a week after you place your order, after
Yeah.
that, no changes. Or they have time,
Because I think
But
that's
it's
what's
not
really
less
messing them
than-
up. Well, that's what it said in
Yeah,
the case.
without a policy set in place, where I don't think we want to shut down the opportunity to do it, but you would charge them more and delay their project over the other ones that have done
Yeah.
everything
Mhm.
properly. You don't want to tell them no, but just say, hey, you're gonna go to the bottom of our list, and it's gonna cost you X, Y, Z, because you already wasted this.
I also said I thought it could be helpful if like they had meetings regular meetings with like
Yeah.
one representative from each department, just to like update, just to like increase communication between the departments of like what's going on, problems that department's facing, and like how other departments can help them solve that and all that.
Do you think it should be like an in-person meeting, or like just like an update, like a memo sent out every month or every week or so forth?
I mean, I think if it was in person, it would only be like monthly or something, but I think having like a memo or something like that, or like a email,
like a weekly.
yeah, weekly
thing.
email update kind of thing or
Yeah.
something like that could be good too.
I can see that.
Yeah.
You can also see maybe adding another assembly line. It would cost more money, but we'd be able to produce more, and then these last minute changes wouldn't be a big deal because we would have more equipment.
Yeah. also if they establish like an organizational chart would help too, like, just so people know the structure of the company, like who they need to go to whenever there's a problem and who needs to talk to who and all of that, just there's no confusion about, like, because how, like Lucy had never heard of the change, like she was completely bypassed, and if they knew who they're supposed to talk to.
Yeah, there's policies, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the biggest, I mean, a lot of these kind of fall underneath policies established. About policies are kind of just, or I guess following policies, even they may have some in place already.
You know, honestly, just maybe coming up with a new company handbook and just kind of reintroducing all their employees to like, hey, this is how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Or maybe hiring a manager. Could. I mean, I don't know if they want to do that, but it would cost a lot of money still, but I think that comes, the manager now is not the manager. He's not acting like one. Alright, we can move on.
Okay, so for the solution, what do we think fits our criteria?
So adding another assembly line is definitely a lot of money. And it
Yeah.
probably would not be there in a month.
Would not be
Yeah.
cost efficient to do that.
Yeah.
So that one might be out.
The website, I think that's a good choice, but it still might take like, I don't know, it depends on how complicated and complex it is. So they might have issues with that too, you know?
But it could meet the all the criteria.
Yeah,
so
no, I
maybe
think
go-
it does.
I think, yeah, I mean,
I think
website-
that's the best choice.
But even doing like an organizational chart like that, I mean, to a point where you do like a handbook, even you were saying, if you do a handbook, you could really establish all that about what you want to do for the guests with the cost efficiency.
You know, if you did the website and the organizational chart, like where the employees log into the website, there could actually be like a link, like, hey, this is
Yeah.
your chain of coming in.
This is where you submit your
Yeah.
change or this
Yeah, we
order.
could personalize it to
goes
employee
through it
type.
all, which would increase the.
Yeah.
I mean, they can definitely have a website done within a month. They usually take a couple weeks to come
Yeah.
up with. I mean, you have to pay somebody to do it, but it's still a
It's
lot
probably the
less.
cheapest.
Yeah.
Less expensive than hiring a new manager or getting a new assembly line or.
And it, I think it would solve all the problems that they're having.
Yeah. And I think the customers would like being able to go online and order whatever instead of having to facilitate a meeting in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can even see our policies and know what we
Mhm.
can and can't do.
So the website?
That's
I
it.
go
I
with
think the
website.
website's the answer to problems. Okay, so our main meeting goal was to discuss the problems faced by executive layer and develop a solution. Does everybody think that it was a productive meeting and we hit that goal? We've got a viable solution?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all agreed on the same problem from the beginning as well, which made it a lot easier to come up with a solution for this.
Alright, I guess that's it.
Now get back to work.